Hey guys, welcome back to Jason and Joni Build. So we're back in the shop today. We're going to do a tear down on our steering column we got from Jimmy Golden last weekend. So there's a lot of parts that we need to go ahead and get ordered. And so before I order one or two pieces, I want to tear it down and make sure I don't miss anything. So I figured I'd take you guys along with this too. So here we go. Alright guys, before we get started, I want to do a official apology to Jimmy and his dad. I just had a really hard time that day. I don't do a lot of filming in front of anybody else other than my wife or my girls. And it kind of gets a little nerve-wracking sometimes, and my confidence isn't there. But anyways, I apologize about the choppy video, and we had a lot of views, and a lot of people enjoyed it, but that was simply because Jimmy did such a good job. So anyways, that was on me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll do better in the future. And I'd like to do a quick shout out to Ridgecrest Robotics, which is a robotics team that I am one of the mentors, one of many on the team. And we had our competition finally this past week, and our team took first place robot, first place overall, and they're just really an awesome group of kids, and the mentors, everybody that put in all their time. You know, we've been real busy with that for the last 6 weeks, and so the Bronco has kind of taken a side seat here lately, and I apologize, but that's been one of the reasons. I've just been spent a lot of time up there with them. But it paid off. They did so well, and proud of them all. And I hope they're looking forward to next year. So anyways, to the Bronco. All right, so as you guys know, we went with the AOD in our Bronco. So I needed a column. I didn't want to have the 4-shift column that you see. It's just not the look I'm looking for. So Jimmy had a automatic column, and we swapped my 66 for this column. I don't really know exactly what year it came out of. The good thing about this column is it's got the collapsible shaft. So sometime, I don't know, sometime in the 70s, they went from the solid shaft, steering shaft from your steering gear, to a collapsible shaft, which is much safer. So I like that better. So he had all that for me. I didn't have to get any of that picked up. Has a rag joint, has the universal joint that hooks to the sector. So really have all the parts I need here. I know, yes, they're rusty and need cleaned up, but that's what we do. So that's really no problem. This has got the dust seal still all in good shape. So what I'd like to do today is get this thing tore apart. We'll tear it apart, find out exactly what parts we need, and get them on order. So I guess first thing we need to do is we're going to have to fight this steering wheel off. I don't know how many of you guys have ever done it, but I've seen torches, I've seen hammers, I've seen people just cut them off and throw them away. So let's hope this one isn't that way. All right, first thing you need to do is go ahead and give it some PB Blaster or some WD-40, some type of penetrant, and soak your threads really good, because if you can see this one, it's sat out in the weather for some time. And now what we need to do is, you'll see these threaded portions in here. We need to clean these out. I'll get a tap and we'll clean these threads. But you use these to put a puller on this and try to get that steering wheel pulled off. All right, so we've got the nut loose. I'm just going to use a little bit more of PB Blaster and try to make sure that it's in those splines really good. And what I've got is just a typical puller, like a harmonic balancer puller. And this one just allows me to get to the steering wheel. If it was much narrower, I couldn't use this tool, but I believe I'll be able to get it pulled off with this. And what I did just a second ago is I just used a tap and just clean the threads up, so I know that my bolts will thread in there nice. And then we'll try to get this thing bolted up. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I left the nut on the shaft so I can just pull the steering wheel up to it. In the event that I booger the end of this shaft up, what I can do is run the nut back down and take a grinder and clean it up. And then as you pull the nut back off, it'll sort of help straighten the threads back out where you can still use it. I would never start this process with the nut off because there's a good chance you wouldn't get it put back on. Man. That's not supposed to happen. That came out way too easy. You saw how bad that shaft looked. Guys, I thought I was going to be out here half a day doing this. My granddaddy's looking down on me right now smiling because he'd always tell me, pull out that PB blaster. It worked. That's too easy. That's good. All right. So we didn't mess this up. So our nut still goes on. We're good there. Okay, so what we have here, this is our blinker assembly. And these tabs here are for the self-canceling mechanism. So when you turn your blinker on, you turn the wheel. When you turn back the other way, it cancels it and puts it back to center. Well, you can tell this one is missing one of them. So I do need to get this, pick up this portion of the column if I want it to self-cancel, and I do. So then you have your light for your indicator, your horn button here. All right, let's get all these goodies pulled out and see what else we're gonna need to order. I got my bucket for my parts, thanks Mom. She keeps me in these old tins. Get this off right here. I'm just going to remove my blinker rod. Turn signal lever. Just got to keep working it until it all kind of comes free. You can see these wires up here, Johnny. They're pulling as I'm pulling it out.
Are you going to reuse those wires?
I don't know if the new one comes with all this or not.
Well, I was asking, you can just snip those off and make it life a little easier for you.
Well, I don't want to cut them yet. We may end up cutting them loose here in a minute. To pull it out, I'll have to determinate them anyways and pull them out of this plug. Look at there. They've already been cut.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's already done it before.
Well, somebody's like, yeah, I'm not going to fight that.
Okay. So, I'm going to cut them.
There you go.
So we will get one of these. 7/16 inch. All right, then you have a little snap ring here. These are pliers I ground off doing the Dana. There. Thing is just gonna fight all the way. We're gonna go ahead and remove the indicator here. That. And just pull it right up. This is one of the things that you can get reproduced, and all the letters will look nice and new. So what I did, we got that snap ring off, and I just put some blaster around there again so we can start trying to get this shaft out. And what I did is I actually just turned it over and just kind of popped it on the floor. And it's slowly coming off. It's just all this stuff is so old and rusty. Yeah, you can tell that's coming off, even though I don't want to. So, it's got that little cage on it. So, this rubber mallet. It's coming apart. See, you can see it sliding up. There we go. Now we get all that apart. So we'll go ahead and get a new bearing. Go up here in the column. So now we'll get a new shifter. Basically, to get the shifter out, we'll use a punch. Get this roll pin and just drive it out. There's a spring back behind it that keeps all that moving. We're going to use a punch to drive this roll pin out. There we go. Okay, so I've got the roll pin out. You know, it's kind of hard not to booger this up, so, you know, try to use that socket to keep from beating it up. Just do the best you can. So, all right, and then your spring is still held in there by those screws. And we have the rest of this thing. It had some play at the end, and you can tell the bearing is also gone. So I'll get a new bearing and the kind of like a plastic shield that goes over it. But we'll go ahead and get that for both ends. On this one, the shifter is froze up, so I'll just use some PB Blaster, but I don't want to do that yet. I really want to try to keep from using any more than that right now than I have to, because this stuff is going to get paint, and it really kind of pains me to put that type of lubricant on this stuff that's going to get paint, because it's hard to get it out. It'll get in the pores, and then you'll end up having paint trouble. But just to see if it'll, yeah, it's moving, it's just tight. We can fix that. But we'll put this in the bead blaster, get it sandblasted, primed and painted. We'll get the parts ordered, we'll show you that, but right now, at least I know what I need to order. Basically all we have left here is my collapsible shaft. We'll just get it all disassembled, cleaned up really nice. The joint is still tight, there's no play in the joint, so I don't have to worry about this. I don't feel any in the double D shaft. These, I actually had a Cobra, brand new Mustang Cobra, and the shaft actually had play in it, and we had to get that fixed right away because it felt terrible. It was a brand new car, and you could feel it in the steering sector, and it was actually these two shafts that slide on each other, just twisting. All right, so to recap, what we're going to replace is the turn signal handle, the shift handle, the turn signal assembly, and both bearings, top and bottom of the column. Everything else seems to be okay. I might go ahead and get a new shift indicator, and we'll clean it up, paint it, make it look new. So this probably won't be our next video, but here in the next couple of weeks when we get all the parts in, we'll try to get this reassembled so you guys can see the final product. But again, thank you guys for bearing with me. We'll try to get back to a better flow of videos. So, but thank you guys again. See you all on the next one. Y'all have a great day.